Craig Rucastle to the dairy section.
So you find yourself in the supermarket and you're in the dairy section and you're faced with a choice. You can go for the supermarket's private labels, which are pretty cheap.
It's down and staying down every day.
2 litres for $2.
Or the branded milk, whether it be Pura, Paul's, Dairy Farmers or others. But they cost a bit more. And when I say a bit more, I mean up to twice the price. Yet over a quarter of us, when standing in a supermarket, will choose the more expensive brands. Why is that?
Dairy Farmers brand has been around since before Federation, so people trust the brand. They really invest in that. They know and understand that the milk that they buy from us is that more authentic, less processed product.
Except it isn't. Authenticity isn't actually an ingredient of milk. And as for processing, well, in most cases, supermarket private brand and branded milk like Dairy Farmers come from the same farms, are processed in the same plant to the same specifications. Plain milk is unique because unlike a lot of other brands, the only difference between them is little more than the brand. But according to my exhausting survey, that hasn't cut through. So why do you buy the branded milk?
I'm hoping that the brand ones come from Australian dairy farms.
It's Australian and I like to support Australian farmers.
I was trying to avoid buying the Coles and Woolies ones on principle.
Our farming within Australia, we've got enough land and everything here to support the world.
Are we done yet?
Our country's not going to survive.
Good on them. Some people want to support dairy farmers, which is fair enough, because they get up every morning at...
Craig, wake up. Hey, we're going to go film a dairy farmer milking, yeah?
Just play some file footage.
No, Craig. Craig!
Dairy farmers get up every morning at 4 a.m, 7 days a week to supply us with the milk we need.
And there's a growing perception that the $1 a litre milk war is hurting these farmers. But if you're hoping that the story of milk prices will help justify your hatred of the supermarket giants, you might be disappointed. And if you're buying your Paul's or Dairy Farmers brands thinking the farmers will get more, they don't. We all focus on the Coles and Woolies duopoly because they control 74% of the grocery market. But behind them is another duopoly, the processors. Lion, owned by Japanese company Kirin, and Parmalat, recently bought by a French company, who between them control about 90% of the market for fresh drinking milk. Lion not only owns Pura, Dairy Farmers and Canberra milk, it also processes milk for Coles and Woolies. And Parmalat not only owns Paul's milk, it also processes milk for, you guessed it, Coles and Woolies. And the fact is, processors pay farmers exactly the same price for the milk no matter what the label is, something they reluctantly admitted to a 2011 Senate inquiry. So if that's true, does that mean the milk price war is just a win for consumers that hasn't hurt farmers? That's certainly what Coles claims.
If you look at the retail price of 2 litres of Coles brand milk, on average, Coles' share fell from around 55 cents before the price cut to just 10 cents afterwards. The processor continued to get around $1 and the farmer's share increased a little from 86 cents to around 90 cents.
Wow, so they cut their profits just to help us. They are so nice.
Actually, idiot, they've done it to lure us into their shops so we buy more stuff. But if they have cut their own share, then what's all the fuss about?
It may surprise you, but this ad campaign, based on staff pointing at your genitals with big red hands, has actually helped change consumer expectations about what milk should cost. So while Coles can legitimately say that it doesn't squeeze the farmers, it does squeeze the processors who are negotiating with the farmers. And a lot of people say that the processors are therefore squeezing the farmers more. And you know what happens next? The farmers, they squeeze the cows. Seriously, it's like they're pulling the boobs or something. Somebody's got to make this stop.
That's just milking a cow, you idiot.
Yeah, I grew up on a farm. I'm so smart. So all that squeezing, that's how Coles and Woolies are shafting our farmers. But it's still not that simple. That may be true in Queensland, where all of the farmers' milk goes into fresh milk. But in the rest of the country, the dairy industry is also the cheese industry and the powdered milk industry and the yogurt industry. And almost half of what comes out of cows is exported. So farmers' milk prices are set by global factors like the price of the Australian dollar and especially competition from New Zealand. So if we want farmers to get more money for their milk, we could, I don't know, stop mining to bring the Australian dollar down. Or blow up New Zealand.
Just say the word.
If it was as simple as you pay more for the milk, the farmer gets more, then farmers would already be getting more from these expensive brands. They certainly trade on the perception that they're closer to the farmers, but they give them exactly the same amount. That's why you can't see his face, because he's sad. So here's a thought. If the processors are going to charge up to twice the price, why don't they actually pass more on to the farmers, instead of, I don't know, passing it on to their French and Japanese parent companies? And here's the ultimate irony. Because the supermarkets have cut their own margins in the private brand war, if you go into a Coles and Woolies and you buy one of these milks instead of one of these, Coles and Woolies still make more money. That's right, you're helping Coles and Woolies more than you're helping the farmers. No! So as a consumer, if you really want to help farmers, is there anything you can actually do? The answer is yes. But you're probably going to have to pay more. Just make sure you're paying it to the right people. And that means farmers' collectives that are still owned by farmers, like Norco or Organic Dairy Farmers. There are also groups that deliver directly to consumers from farmers, like Aussie Farmers Direct. And try to buy dairy products that are made from Australian ingredients, because that also keeps demand for Australian milk high. Or just pay the farmer and drink it out of the teat yourself. Is this permit free?
If you don't want to guzzle milk straight from the cow, there'll soon be another way to make sure farmers get paid more for milk. Woolies have announced a new Farmers Own label, which they'll source directly from farmers, supposedly paying them more. And that's all well and good. Like Craig said, if you're going to charge more money for a farmer-branded milk, the least you can do is pay the farmers more for it. This has led to all kinds of headlines about Woolies bailing out of the price war, which they say is hurting farmers. At least that's what they said to us.
There's no doubt that discounted milk has had an impact on farmers' returns.
But they're not ending the milk price war. They're just introducing a new premium product. They're still going to keep selling their $1 a litre milk, and those farmers won't be getting any more for it. So right now, Woolies are trying to win the PR war without actually getting out of the price war, which means milk isn't the only cow byproduct they're flogging.